One of my favorite features in The Sims 4 is the club system. I feel it's one of the few truly well done new features in this game. I personally believe Get Together is one of the best expansion packs for The Sims 4, but that's a video for another time. If you don't play with clubs much or you're just looking for ideas to make them more fun and engaging, I am here to help. In this video, I'm going to share how I play with clubs to keep my Sims connected to friends and family, help them find romance, and indulge in their favorite hobbies together. As I was setting up my Sims 4 Pleasant View save file to stream on Twitch, I realized that I hadn't yet set up my clubs for the Sims in this world. And since I needed to do it anyway, I thought I might as well share it with you, and maybe I can give you some ideas for your own gameplay. So I just jumped into Don Lothario's household here and opened up his little social group panel, and I'm going to click join a club. There are currently no clubs in this world, and I'm going to create all of them now. So I create 3 different types of clubs in my games: age-based, family-based, and hobby-based. All playable Sims join the appropriate age-based clubs immediately, family clubs as soon as they're children, and hobby-based clubs when they become young adults, although I am thinking of expanding the hobby clubs to teens as well. I outline all of these clubs and how I set them up on my website under my Sims 4 gameplay rules. You can check that out at PleasantSims.com, and I'll link to it down below in the description box. So I create 3 age-based clubs as soon as I start playing: kids, teens, and singles. Dawn, of course, is going to be a member of the singles club. When a teen ages up to a young adult, they immediately join the singles club if there's room in the club. Hopefully there is. So all of my clubs are open invitation just to make it easier to add Sims. I'm going to add a little description here. This is a club for young adults to spend time together and date, and we're going to choose a nice romantic rose for our icon. The club hangout is going to be the local nightclub, which we do not currently have in Pleasant View, so I'm going to leave it set to none until I get the nightclub built, but typically I would do a nightclub for the hangout. The requirements, of course, are first of all age, so they must be young adults. So you can also include adults, and I think for my Pleasant View I am going to include adults. That's just up to you. Young adult and adult. You could even include elders in the singles club if you wanted to, but I'm going to do young adult and adult because I know I have some adult singles here in Pleasant View: Brandy Broke, Darren Dreamer, so I would like for them to join the club. So the age, I guess, is up to you. And also I need to change my description. I'm just going to say for adults to spend time together and date. The other requirement is for our Sims to be unmarried. We do not want married Sims to be in the singles club. I mean, you can do that if you want to, but I choose not to do that in my game. Now, our club activities include being friendly to other members of the singles club, being funny to other members of the singles club, being romantic to other members of the singles club. And as you can imagine, this can cause a little bit of drama because you have somebody like Don, he's going to be romantic with all the ladies in the club, and some of them might not like that. So you do have to be careful. Dancing is another activity. And if you're noticing that I have more club activities than you do in your game, that's because I use mods to add additional club activities. And I will link to these mods down in the description box below. I highly recommend getting them because they can help you create really meaningful hobby clubs for your Sims. And finally, the last action that I have here is to drink bar drinks. So our Sims will be friendly to each other, be funny, tell jokes to each other, be a little romantic, and they'll dance and drink at the local nightclub. Once a Sim gets married, they'll be removed from the singles club because they will no longer be eligible. So let's go ahead and add some more members. Dawn, of course, is going to be the leader of this club right now, unless he gets married to Cassandra, and then he'll be kicked out. So I think we definitely need to add Nina and Dina. Nina, Dina, and Dawn all in the singles club. Wow, this is gonna be fun. Let's add Brandy Broke, Darren Dreamer, who is Dawn's enemy, so that's also gonna cause some drama. I'm not gonna add Cassandra because I just don't want her to get her poor heart broken by seeing Dawn flirting with all these girls, so I'm not gonna add her to the club. So now I have 1 additional spot left, so I think I'll just go ahead and add our girl Kaylin Langerak for even more drama. So check this out. We've got Dawn, Nina, Dina, Brandy, Darren, and Kaylin in the singles club. Oh my god, I can't wait for the first meeting of this club. So now I'm going to create the teens clubs. All the teens in a single world I put in a club together so that they can continue hanging out and getting to know each other as they grow up. And having a club makes it so much easier to gather them all together, and then they can figure out which other teens that they like, who they don't like, who they're friends with, who they want to date, and it's really fun to just get them together and see what happens. So Angela here, because she is a popularity sim, and you just know that she is the most popular girl at school. Nicole. She is going to be the leader of our teens club. So we will create a new club. So the name of our club is going to be the Pleasant View Teens Club, and it's a club for Pleasant View teens to hang out together. For our icon, I'm going to choose these sunglasses. Yes. And then for our requirements, we only have one requirement, and that is that you are a teen. Club activities include being friendly to other members of the teens club, being funny to other members of the teens club, doing homework together, watching TV, and listening to music. So now let's add the other teens from Pleasant View into our club. Of course, we have Dustin Broke, Dirk Dreamer, Lilith Pleasant, and those are our 4 teens right now. I will keep these 2 spaces open. I could add some townie teens, but I want to keep these 2 spaces open so that when Alexander and Lucy age up to teens, they can join as well. And because both Angela and Lilith are members of the teens club, they're obviously going to be fighting, so you never know. This could bring them closer together because they'll be doing homework together, watching TV together, being funny with each other, and being in this club together could even improve their relationship. It'll be really interesting to see what's going to happen between them. Or maybe they'll just fight the whole time and ruin the whole club gathering. I don't know. So for the singles club, I usually try to do 1 gathering per rotation. Like if I play Dawn Lothario for 4 days, I want to do 1 gathering of the singles club during that 4 days. And then once I get to Brandy Broke, I'll do 1 gathering of the singles club during her 4-day round. As for the teens club, I kind of like to get them to hang out a little bit more often because I feel like teens hang out quite a bit after school. So I may do like Tuesday and Thursday afternoons is the gathering of the teen club. They all get together and do homework and hang out. You can come up with your own rules, but those are just some ideas. And now for our kids club, of course, little Lucy Burb has got to be the leader of the kids club here in Pleasant View. Okay, so we're going to create our kids club now with Lucy Burb in charge. And we're going to call this Pleasant View Kids Club. I really don't know what to choose as an icon. I think I'll choose this little Jack in the Box. And the description will be a club for Pleasant View kids to hang out and play together. So the purpose of the kids club is for children to hang out together and start getting to know each other when they're still children. And just like with the teen club, this makes it very easy to gather the children together so they can start playing, getting to know each other, see who they like, and because this is going to be the generation they're going to be growing up with. And obviously once they age up to teenagers, they immediately move to the teen club. And when toddlers become children, they are immediately enrolled in the kids club. So we only have 1 requirement, and that is that your age is child. Club activities include being friendly to other members of the kids club, doing homework together, playing with toys, playing on playground equipment because I will sometimes have the kids meet at the playground or the local park to have a gathering, and watching TV. Sometimes they'll get together at one of the kids' houses and they'll play with toys and watch cartoons. So the club hangout for the teens and the kids, I just leave it at none. That way for the teens, I can have them gather at each other's houses or sometimes at the local park or whatever, and then the same thing for the kids. So let's go ahead and add our Pleasant View children. Right now, we just have Alexander and Lucy. We could go ahead and add some more townie children. Oh, and Brittany Oldie. I'm sorry, I forgot about Brittany Oldie. We have Lucy Alexander and Brittany Oldie. Like I said, we could add some townie children. I prefer to really add only my playable Sims into the clubs. Sometimes I will add townies if like my Sims have become really good friends with them outside of the club, then I feel like they would be invited to the club. But otherwise I just mostly stick to my playable Sims. So also we have little Bo Broke in Pleasant View. He's going to be aging up to a child very soon, and he will also be joining the club. So I want to make sure I leave enough room for him at least. All right, so those are our age-based clubs. Now I'm going to move on to the family clubs. Anytime a family, Sims who are related together, split into more than one household, then I create a family club to keep them connected. I also add any new family member to the club as soon as they become children. And I include spouses of family members too when there's enough room for them. So Mary Sue here is going to create a family club for her family because her family also lives here in Pleasant View. Her parents, Herb and Coral Oldie, and her adopted sister, Brittany. We're going to call this the Oldie Family Club. Even though Mary Sue's last name is Pleasant, she was originally Mary Sue Oldie, and we're making this club for that side, that part of her family. I have no idea what to make the icon for the family club, so I usually just try to choose something neutral. Like this little scroll I think maybe is good. Maybe that can kind of represent like family history. I don't know. Club for the Oldie family of Pleasant View. The only club requirement we have is that you're a member of the Oldie family, and we can't add that as a requirement here, so I'm not going to add anything. Club activities include being friendly to other members of the Oldie Family Club, being funny with other members of the Oldie Family Club. And then as for the other activities, you can kind of choose these based on your family. If you have a family full of people who love to garden, then maybe they might want to do some gardening activities together. If they're an active family, maybe they'll want to do some fitness activities. If they're kind of a lazy family, maybe they want to watch TV and hang out together. Or you can have them eat together. I used to add eat to the family gatherings because I thought that's what most families do. They get together, once a week and have dinner together. But my Sims would just sit there and constantly eat. So instead, I just go ahead and serve dinner when they're there, but I don't add it as a club activity. For the Oldie family, I'm just gonna do watch TV together so they can hang out and watch a movie and have dinner together, maybe on Sunday evening or something. Once a week or so when playing these families, I will start a family gathering, and this just keeps our Sims connected and keeps their relationship strong, because it can be hard to maintain family relationships when your Sims move away from each other. But if you have a club so you can just call the whole family over once a week to have dinner and watch a movie, it really does help preserve those relationships and kind of simulates a real family. I feel like in The Sims 2, I often forget which Sims are even in my family. I'll forget to invite people to weddings and stuff, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to invite your dad to the wedding, because it's just hard for me to keep up with all the family members. But with clubs, it's much easier. So you can click right here on family, and it will only have the family of the Sims, so you can add them. So we're gonna add Coral and Herb. I don't know why little Brittany is not showing up as Mary Sue's adopted sister. And I also don't have the option to add her, so that's strange. I don't know why. That is odd. I'll have to try and figure out why that is, but I wanted to add little Brittany as well. So I'm not going to add Daniel because he's going to have his own family group. This is for Mary Sue's immediate family. So because we have a room in this family, I'm going to go ahead and add Daniel Pleasant, Mary Sue's husband, and then of course we will add Angela and Lilith because they are the grandchildren of Herb and Coral. So they are also part of the Oldie family. So I just switched over to Daniel Pleasant, and he is standing incredibly close to Dagmar Bertino here. Daniel, back off. God, he's creepy. He's over here trying to play chess with Dina. I don't know. But Daniel is the only other Sim in Pleasant View right now when you first start the save file that also has family living on a separate lot. So we're going to create a Pleasant Family Club. Club for the Pleasant family of Pleasant View. And we'll add the same activities, the social activities of being friendly, being funny, and watching TV together. So let's add our Pleasant family. So I'm going to click the little family icon, and of course we will add Jennifer Burb. Jennifer Burb is Daniel Pleasant's sister. And then we will go and also add John Burb, which is Jennifer's husband. And then Angela and Lilith, of course. And for some reason, I also can't add Lucy. That is so weird. She's also not showing up under family. So for some reason, I'm not able to add the children to these family clubs right now. I don't know if that's a bug or something. But what I'll do is I'll just have to go add them manually. So I'm going to leave this space open for Lucy. So this is a club for Daniel and his sister and brother-in-law and the 3 cousins to hang out together. So I've loaded up the Burb household, and I've gone and selected Lucy, and I'm just gonna have her join the Pleasant Family Club this way. So now she's a part of the Pleasant Family Club. I don't know why I wasn't able to choose her from the family screen on the club selection, but so if this happens to you, you may just have to go to the Sim and have them join it. So I'm actually going to do the same thing for little Brittany Oldie. I am going to have her go in and join the Oldie Family Club. Now, I had to go kick Daniel Pleasant out of the Oldie Family Club so that there would be enough room for Brittany. But I think it's more important for her to be part of this club rather than Daniel, because Daniel's only married into the Oldie family. He's not like a blood relative. Like I said, I will add spouses to the clubs if there's enough room, but I want to make sure all the blood relatives are added as a priority. Finally, I'm going to create my hobby clubs. I create hobby clubs so that Sims can make friends and spend time with other Sims who have similar interests. All my playable young adult and older Sims will join one hobby club based on the hobby of their choice. So I use a mod called the Hobby Mod by Missy Hissy that I highly recommend you download because it makes hobbies so much more meaningful in the game. It makes them more like what I hoped the likes and dislikes would have been like, and more like the Sims 2 style of hobbies where your Sims will gain enthusiasm in various hobbies. They can develop hobbies through gameplay, or you can assign them yourself. So I will use Dawn here as an example. If I go to the reward store, you can see that I have all these traits here for only 5 satisfaction points, and these are all the different hobbies. If you assign one of these reward traits to your Sims, they will start to get wants related related to that hobby. And your sim can develop these hobbies like through gameplay. Let's say Don was doing a lot of fitness activities, then he may develop this hobby on his own. You don't have to assign any hobbies to your sims. And I don't, except for these sims that I created from The Sims 2 already had hobbies, so I did assign them. But any sims that are born in the game, I just let them develop their own hobbies, and then once they do, they can join a hobby club. Don's hobby is fitness because that was his hobby in The Sims 2, so he is going to start and maintain and join the fitness hobby club. All other sims who have the fitness hobby will be able to join this club as well. So we're going to call this the Pleasant View Fitness Club. I'm going to choose like this exercise equipment for the icon. A club for Pleasant View fitness buffs. The club hangout, of course, would be the local gym. We don't currently have a gym, so I'm going to say none, but once I get a gym somewhere in the world, then I'll change the club hangout to the gym. We're going to do teen, young adult, adult, and elder. And you can add you can allow any ages. You could even allow children if you want, but I kind of like this to be for my older sims once they've kind of developed their hobby more. So then the next requirement is going to be trait. They must have the trait of fitness hobby, and those are the only requirements. So our club activities, I always do a be friendly to the other people in the club, just so they'll hang out and kind of talk to each other. Now, we can add jogging would be a good one for them to do together. Workout, obviously, and maybe do yoga as well. So jog, workout, and do yoga is going to be the fitness club. And let's see who we can add. So other sims who also have the fitness hobby, there are none currently. Okay, it doesn't seem right. So this is so strange because I know that Nina Caliente also has the fitness hobby. So actually, my bad, I was wrong. Nina actually has the sports hobby, not fitness. So Dawn is the only sim in town that currently has the fitness hobbies. I probably shouldn't even have created a club. Usually I wait until there's at least 2 sims with that hobby for a club to be created. I thought I had 2 for this one, but obviously I did not. But anyway, that's just an example of how I would create a hobby club. So let me see what other hobbies I have more of in Pleasant View. I definitely have a lot of sims with nature, tinkering, music and dance, film and literature, pretty much everything except fitness. So let's create some of those clubs. So I'm here with our dashing Mortimer Goth, and you just know that he has to be the leader of the nature club. Mortimer's hobby is nature. He loves gardening in his free time, and I just know that he's gonna like run the local chapter of the Pleasant View Nature Club. So we're going to call this the Pleasant View Nature Club. Club for nature lovers. We'll choose this lovely little plant as our icon. And our requirements will once again be age teen and above. And our second requirement will be the trait of nature hobby. Club activities include being friendly to other members of the nature club. Now, one thing that I think the nature sims might like to do is go fishing, so I'm going to choose that. And you could even break down the hobbies more, kind of like I do in The Sims 2 with sub hobbies. So you could have, if you have a lot of sims with nature hobbies, you could break that down and say these sims are like to fish, so I'm going to do a fishing club for these nature sims. And then these sims like to garden, so I'm going to do a gardening club for these nature sims. And if I get to a point where I have more sims than I can fit into a general catch-all nature club, then I will start to break it down for them, depending on what each individual sim likes to do the most. For now, I don't have that many sims in town, so I think I'm just going to put them all into a general nature club. Harvesting, so they like to garden together, tend garden, and feed the birds. Why not? I think I'm going to get rid of harvest so I can add another activity. So we have fish, tend garden, feed the birds, and how about go hiking? Okay, I like those activities for our nature club, our general nature club. So these are all the sims who also have a nature hobby in town, so I'm going to add them. We've got Dina Caliente, Dustin Broke, Herb Oldie, and John Burb. So our nature club is almost full. That is awesome. So since we're here in the Goth household, here is Cassandra Goth, and Cassandra has a passion for tinkering. I think she would definitely run the local tinkering club. We're gonna call her club the Pleasant View Tinkerers, a club for sims who love to tinker. And I'm gonna choose this little wrench as our icon. Requirements, of course, are age to be teen and above. And you must have the trait of tinkering hobby. Club activities include being friendly to other members of the Tinker Club. I think woodworking would be a good hobby for our tinkerers. Fix objects, definitely fix objects. And fabricate objects as well, I think would be a good activity for tinkerers to do. And finally, build robots. So our tinkerers, our catch-all tinkerer group, they're gonna do woodworking, fixing things, fabricating objects, and building robots. So we have two other Sims who love to tinker in Pleasant View. That's Daniel Pleasant and Dirt Dreamer. So I'm gonna add both of those to this Pleasant View Tinkerers Club. So those are just some examples of how I make the hobby clubs. As you can see, there are all kinds of options and different ways that you can do it yourself. But I feel like all Sims should be at least in one hobby club so they can hang out with other Sims who like have the same passions as them and work on things together. And then of course they'll all eventually have family clubs to join as the families start to split apart and move into different households. And then there are age-based groups as well. Now I don't have an age-based group for adults and young adults and elders, just for that age, because I figure that's the time in life when you start to move on to hanging out with people who have similar interests instead of just hanging out with them because they're also the same age as you. That happens more when you're a kid and a teenager, and then when you become adult, you tend to hang out with people who have similar interests. So that's why I don't have just like adult only club, but I think an elder club would be a really good addition, and that's something I'm thinking about adding to my game so that all the elders could get together and hang out in town and have tea or whatever. Since Mortimer already runs the nature club, I think I'll have either Herb or Coral, my other two elders in town, to start the elder club. I think I'm going to let Coral Oldie be the leader of the elders club in town. She's the only female elder that I have in Pleasant View right now, and I feel like this would give her something to do with her time to sort of organize these meetings between basically she and Herb and Mortimer Goth at this point. But maybe we'll add some townies in just so they have a few more elder friends. We're gonna name this the Pleasant View Elders. I really have no idea what to make their icon, so I think I'm just gonna choose this little coffee cup, and maybe they'll get together and have coffee once a week. A club for the distinguished elders of Pleasant View. Okay, so the age requirements, obviously, you must be an elder, and that's it. That's the only requirement we have. So our club activities, of course, are being friendly to the other members of the Pleasant View Elders Club. We're gonna do drink tea together and drink coffee. Why not? Let's do another social. Let's do be funny with other members of the Pleasant View Elders. Oh, I know, play cards. They would play cards together. So our elders are going to play cards, drink coffee and tea, and talk and joke with each other at their gatherings. So we have quite a few elder Sims. Of course, we want to add Herb and Mortimer because there are playable Sims, but we also have some other elders that are NPCs in the world. So Arcadia Bradshaw, she is one of the repair people. Lee Lewis and Waylon Fairchild are the other two repair people, and then Callista, Karen, and Kendall are the nannies in town. So we should definitely add another female Sim so that Coral has another lady to talk to. So we're gonna add, I'm just gonna add Arcadia since she's the first one on the list. And then I think we can add two more, is that correct? So we'll just go ahead and add the first guy on the list, which is Lee Lewis, and then we'll add Callista. So as more of my playable Sims age up to elders, I will take out the NPCs and add in my playable Sims, but right now I just kind of wanted some more friends, especially for Coral. I feel like Herb and Mortimer could be friends, but Coral really didn't have another woman her age to talk to, so adding Arcadia and Callista will give her some companions for the time being. If a playable Sim needs to be placed into a club, I will kick out any NPCs or townies because I prioritize my playables. So now we've got the Pleasant View Elders. It's so much fun. So I hope this gives you some ideas for using clubs in your own gameplay. I really love doing the family clubs, the age-based clubs, especially the singles club. That one is going to be super fun. And the hobby clubs as well. And as you can see, the hobby clubs can get super specific and you can make all kinds of like meaningful clubs for your Sims to join. Don't sleep on the clubs feature. It is seriously the best thing in The Sims 4, in my opinion. Well, one of the best things. I love how easy clubs make it to bring your Sims together and have them build relationships around a common goal or theme. And I would love to hear from you. Do you use clubs frequently in your game, and how do you use them? I would love to hear if you do something similar to me or if you use clubs completely differently. Leave a comment down below and let me know. Now, I'm gonna go finish setting up my hobby clubs for Pleasant View. If you would like to see me play this Pleasant View in The Sims 4, I'm gonna be streaming it on Twitch very soon, so so make sure you go follow me on Twitch. I'm going to be playing this world rotationally. This is my Sims 4 save file, which is a recreation of the Sims 2 Pleasant View in the Sims 4. You can also download it and play it yourself, and you can come watch me play it and play along with me on Twitch. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Cindy, and I'll see you with a new video very soon. Bye!